Hey there, this is Marxist, and this is a demo review from the ETF2l Open Playoffs. We're going to be watching Alphaa here, not the American slash Romanian Alpha, but another Alpha. And just to let you know, if you want to submit your own demo or STV for casting or review, I'll be happy to do it at the email in the description. You can donate to me too if you really want. I'll put that link there as well. But we'll get started here. So hoping this will be a cool game because it's the playoffs, and he said it was a good game. So we're doing the jumping man rollout. Lots of jumpings. Alright, playing a little passive now. We jump across, end up on our own side. Our team is getting crushed, and we're dead. So, that team went into the valley. They sat down there and sort of appraised the situation, and then came up once you guys were all set up. So, it's fairly common as far as strats. The way you beat it is as your pocket is walking up through valley. He's just got to fight the people that are walking up slope and staring at your team. And scouts have to block out jumping a bit. That's the main thing there. So we're trying to build a gun. I would much prefer for the scouts to be the ones that do that, because it's harder to be a scout on last, because your rockets have this capability to magically keep people out because of explosives. So that's that basically. I also don't like leaving people at last, especially because you're the roamer, and like 9 times out of 10 it's going to be a scout that comes in here, and typically it's difficult to survive against a scout as the roamer, because you have gunboats on in 90% of cases. So you've only got 4 rockets. Alright, let's see, can you yep, he screwed it up nice and good and let you kill him. And you know where their combo is. Assume you're gonna get ammo here. Yeah, so team's just gonna hold last. It was a pirate cap because they have Uber advantage. So you're gonna go out here and try to block. That might work for a little bit if the team. No, the team's dying. Now the situation has managed to go from bad to worse, but their med is isolated. I don't mind this fighting on Spire from you. Yeah, you took your eyes off the ball, so to speak. They just needed to commit a lot harder to second. And it would have been pretty bad. I don't know why they're so slow. They should already be here. Like, that's go time as soon as your med dies. They've done quite an exceptional amount of dilly-dallying, which they continue to do. Let your whole team spawn and get set up on defense. You did have a scout go pyro, I'm cool with that. We're stuck in this fight over here. Soldier rotates. Well, so far it has worked. Oh, nope, they got on the point. Yep. A little too passive there. Ideally, the way I like to deal with it is just as soon as anybody gets on the point, the pocket has to deal with it. And then if he dies, then you have to dive the point with everybody on the team. Alright, so it looks like we're going to do something a little more traditional here. The demo tried to get cute. He's dead now. Did you get the med? No. Yeah, oh yeah, you did. Well, that's easy. So this should be a quick and easy round win for you guys, and an easy second cap leading into it. So, since you guys have a pocket and a demo surviving, uh, usually you can just go ahead and push last with that. Because you don't want them to get their defensive classes in the spots they want to be in. Because it's beneficial, right? Like, the reason we stand where we do on last holds is because it's better that way. Oh, their sniper's throwing by saying sniper. We gotta fight a scout. Oh, you dive the point. Yeah, way too much emphasis on the point from your team for the push because you've got uber advantage, so you just need to get kills. You don't need to cap the point. The point capping shenanigans need to occur when you're in in a lopsided fight or desperate. You don't got to go straight to the operation, get really desperate to cap when you're the one with the advantage. So you're back here to try and get the force. Ideally that wouldn't be necessary, but it works, so that's fine. I prefer just to set up the pocket and the roamer and the demo in a position to spam in the back. And most medics aren't brave enough to survive being shot at by 3 people without popping. And then nobody has to die. Well, unfortunately, we have a scout go down, so now they ought to... So what blue team ought to do right now is get in and force your med. Oh, well, you witnessed the back cap. Yeah, you couldn't really help with that anyways. Because of how hurt you were, and your team was going in for the Uber, and the demo took your health pack. In that case, you knew you had Uber advantage of like 50% or more. You didn't need to rush so much unless your med got forced. And if your med did get forced, the demo didn't need to really worry about going anyways. But, because it's better to just hold... If you get forced, it's better just to hold the Uber on one guy so that it's as long as possible. And the demo can just long range spam people and get healed once the fight's ending. Well, it looks like we're getting crushed here. But your med kills their demo, so... Oh, there's soldier. Let's work the mouse. Alright, so they're 3 down. You're gonna stay at last. Unfortunate. Because it ought not to be necessary. What you want to do is, when you have to play the map, just talk out with your team, like, what way everyone's gonna go, and make sure all 4 ways are covered. And if you're the guy that's, like, assigned to lower left and you happen to be dead, you need to figure out what's gonna change. Unless they're clearly all dead. Okay, well, we're Ubering in on them. We flashed a ton, and they didn't pop. Yep, so, no go. When it's Uber versus Uber like that, you can't flash. And, or you'll get crushed, because their Uber lasts forever. They didn't even have to pop, so, I mean, their forever Uber was even better. So it was just an ill-advised push. Alright, so they're 1 down. In my world, that means you can go get yourself killed now. But nobody does. Maybe our scout was trying. So they might not know about the Uber situation. It'll be okay. Nope, they did know. That was a gutsy call on their part, or confident. And they have nixed a lot of your players. Luckily, you've got their scout, so doesn't matter ultimately. But you guys got their scouts, so I mean that helps because it slows their camping potential. Oh no. It happens to everybody. Oh, we're doing a 2008 house rollout. We jump to the point. See, the better bet there would have been to flank them. Because your pocket had already stuck him in the door because his explosives let him keep people out of doors. Then you just jump behind them and cut their escape route off. So you flanked here. Alright. Now, in my little world, this means you're the roamer, you've survived mid, you get to do whatever you want to do. Like, your life is completely devoid of value. Because you should be dead. So you choose to fight them and die, that's fine. Your med still has uber advantage. We've popped. And you win the round. So that's just the sad life of the roamer. But see, you were dead there. The damage that you did was healed away, but you survived mid, so you literally didn't matter. So that's fine. Alright, we're watching from our little perch. Try to get an air shot. Getting blasted, did 0 damage. But that scout shot at you rather than other players. And now we're trying to get their med. Oh, looks like he's hosed. Yeah, it's actually bad play there from the med to live for so long. It's better to kill yourself. If you know you're dead to rights, you can try to die honorably, but running away so as to survive is bad because of how long the respawn timer is. And they're trying to screw with your medic, but it doesn't happen. So you should pretty much clean up this round. I'm a big proponent of always climbing the spire as the med purely for these situations. Because all they're trying to do is to slow you down. So you just climb spires straight away and then you're in. They can't sticky trap shutter doors. Because you're not going to use them. So we should be getting in here. There is a lot of dilly-dally going on. And our pocket gets headshot, but there's a lot of pressure on the point. Nope. So again, you guys had uber advantage and you rushed to the point. You don't need to do that. You're the ones with the super uber. You can just go get kills while you're invincible. Because if you run at people while you're invincible, they tend to run away because they're scared of you. So then you can walk on the point because they're standing in spawn afraid. But if you just run on the point having gotten in with an Uber, they'll just swarm you and kill you. Plus flashing too much will drag the Uber out. You want to stick to like 2 or 3 people at the most. Alright, so you get a force, that's fine. They're also 1 down when they pushed, so your team can stay. Especially because it was a soldier that was down, we are really spread out here. Especially because it was a soldier that was down, you can stick around to fight as long as you stick together. Because he's either going to have to rocket jump and be hurt when he's at the fight, or he's going to have to walk and be really slow. Alright, so you're peeking around. You guys have Uber, but I am okay with you being slow here. It's better to push with 6. Oh, no need to bomb the med here. Yeah, so we lose our roamer and demo. And a scout. I don't know why. Like, that chain of events there just doesn't make sense. Since you guys had huge Uber advantage, unless it was a mistake, and you were just going in to get a force for an Uber that was thought to exist, that's fine on your part. It's the medic's fault for not knowing. But the issue is, if you did know that it was an Uber advantage push, you can't go in that early. You gotta let the Ubered people do their thing. You're just the roamer. Your potential to contribute is quite low, and it's especially low if you die needlessly. Yeah, we tried to jump into a scout, and we discovered that scouts are the lord of the high place, so if a scout is above you and sees you getting ready to rocket jump at them, then you're dead if you rocket jump at them. So your only hope there was to, like, find some other place to be, maybe go out, drop down. Oh, they were already on it. Maybe go out, drop down, or just stay up there and try to spam him out, because there's no way for you to get to him unless the other soldier jumps too. Or a scout runs at him. Alright, whoa, we get air piped. Alright, health pack collection. We've already lost mid. You might have to die here. Nope. Oh, and you killed the guy. Oh, I don't like this. Yeah, this is a tough fight for you because your team isn't here yet. They were slow to pursue. Oh, well, you're fighting this. Yeah, so, and then their med gets killed, so they were just, or your med gets killed. What a tragedy. Yeah, so we got involved into a fight we didn't need to take, and you got 2 kills out of it, but that was not the fight to have. Yep, and then they snatch last. So yeah, that last round was just, you know, it was a questionable fight, kind of iffy, and you going in was fine because you can pop their Uber or whatever, but any more than that was a mistake. And so we're doing the Dave AC under mid, backing up. Yep, Scout's eating you alive. Oh, but you kill him, and they're 2 down now, so you should just win this mid. And you definitely are. It may or may not be an ace mid. Well, this soldier's gonna try and die with honor. But yep. So you get to do whatever you want because you survived mid. And apparently what you want to do is cap the point. They walk in the dangerous way. I assume we're gonna see a push. Oh. There's the scout, but we're in now. Alright, what do we do here? Oh, that guy's still sniper. What a travesty. Okay, kick around this soldier, but we've lost too many people. Like, I know the scout died to the sniper. We've lost our pocket and demo now. What did our Uber do? I wish I could see, because that shouldn't really be the case. And this has been a consistent problem for you guys, is pushing last. So I think, since there are many more rounds in this, from what you told me, I'm gonna... Maybe the next time you guys push in last, I'm gonna watch the pocket for a sec. To see just what's going wrong. So you're set up for the back cap here. You know their med has Uber. That was a legit call. So searching for him, listening to the crunchy noise. Well, you jumped a distracted scout. So that pans out. Well, now you're screwed. Now you guys still have spawn advantage, but you're 3 down, so fighting is not advisable. But you're gonna be back. And you're gonna have Uber, so that'll let your scouts get back. So putting up a stand here would be okay. Now see that this here is an example of things not being done correctly. So when you've already got Uber, you don't need to throw your roamer in there to force, because if you happen to die, now you really can't Uber, you're gonna end up leapfrogging the point. But we don't want to leapfrog, because leapfrogging where you let them cap mid and you come back in with Uber, any good team is going to be able to get their medic out and not bleed a whole bunch of players when they do that. And then you're just going to end up doing trading mid back and forth based on your Uber advantages for a while until someone makes a mistake. So you don't really want to go down that road, right? So all you need to do is stand back and spam choke. Or the house door on the left. Chances are they won't come up the valley, so just get all your spam classes to do that, and when they show that they're coming in, your pocket has to get into them if they haven't already popped. And then you block all the people from coming in. If you start out too close and then back up, you end up backing up into all your subsidiary players, and you end up in this situation, which is not good. Because you've popped your Uber, they have not. Their players are hurt, and they're one more down than you. But you're in a really bad spot, yep. And here's where the Uber starts to have its effect. Because you're not in this fight, your pocket, I don't believe, is either. Well, now he definitely isn't. And your demos had to back up. So, don't back away from their Uber, just spam it, and if it doesn't work, then you've got to bring your pocket into them. Because an Uber while you're backing up is always bad. I don't know that too many people have had good Ubers while they were pressing S. Or whatever key you happen to use to back up. Oh, Bob gets lucky there. Oh. That was just a misclick, basically. Oh, but we've preserved the point. We've killed the medic. So, nice little trap ends up getting set there for them. And now you've won their second, unless this back cap occurs.
Alert! The control point is being captured.
Oh no. Oh. Yeah. Probably better to go off of bats there, unless you've practiced that, like, all the way to the left bats, unless you've practiced using those crates to jump, because there's like a little overhang on that wall there, and that's gonna get you a lot of the time. But you do have Ubers, so you could just push back out. Yes, that's the right call. Now, this is why I don't like leaving roamers at last, because here you are at last, and your team is out at 2 fighting 5v6. when you could be fighting 6v6, and they know you've got Uber, so they're going to try to do stupid stuff, and you can reduce the stupid stuff if you're there. Plus, you knew no one was behind you anymore, because you killed that guy, and all the rest of them had died. So there's no way anyone was behind you to need to guard this. And your team's taking a disadvantageous fight right now. Okay. Oh. Okay, so another thing here is that once the point gets like half capped, you're definitely safe to go. Even if your team has a lot of trouble like talking about what door to go through and people ending up behind you. Once it's about half capped, I mean, if they come and snatch it out from under you after that, there were major problems going on. Oh, sniper, medic. We screwed up our jump. Oh, killed the body shot and thrown out of the way. Now, so this is a problem because it's taking too long. Yeah, and they've got spawn advantage, so they're gonna push you back. So you go, I mean, you treat this like a suicide, but tragically we're losing too much. Yeah, so you can't commit like that when they've got Uber. Just you dying is fine. That's a good play on your part, but anybody else dying is unacceptable. Because they have mid, they have a respawn advantage over you, and they also have just a generalized respawn advantage at mid. Because they don't have to walk as far. So they're putting their demo in the sad zone though, and all their players die somehow. So, oh, and this guy's maybe gonna die. That wall trolled you a little bit, but you get him. So now you're okay as long as we start capping soon. Alright, so we are now capping. Oh no, you're gonna die. But I think you just got the health pack anyways because you rocket jumped up there and then you hurt him, so that turns out. So y'all are going to try to push, and you get their med. They were way too close, given the situation. Alright, and now, barring a catastrophe, I'm actually going to flop it over to your pocket for the, Actually, we'll watch the med for this Uber. So, you're actually going in like you should, I guess because I'm watching, right? So, this is the right way to go about these, where you really crush them at mid. Way too many people on the point, though. You don't need to stack the point like that. Just get kills. One guy on the point is enough. A ×2 cap caps Badlands last in 2 seconds. I'm sure you don't need to whittle it down to 1.5. The comparative advantage is low. Alright, so here we go. Oh, we're doing a lot of staring at people here. Oh. Your med's already dead. So is theirs. Will you be able to get a health pack? Oh, you're pain training too. Alright, nope. That guy's behind, but you don't really have to care because you survived mid. So if you want to hide in a stupid spot or do any sort of shenaniganry, now is the time. This is where you get to do really dumb stuff if you want, because you survived mid. Oh no. Yeah. Unfortunate. They were down a guy, so I would have pushed flank anyways. in this situation, but it's gonna turn out okay. You're still fishing for kills, which is okay, because you're technically not a person right now, because you survived mid. So you get to do whatever you want. Alright. And that's not an incentive. That's just, you ought to be dead, so you shouldn't be there. But they screwed up somehow and didn't kill you. Oh, they have a heavy by the point. Oh, you got baited hard. That's the oldest trick in the book, really. Now, to be entirely oh no. But to be honest here, since your Ubers are so close, I don't know if you're gonna... I wouldn't push either because of the dead demo. That's crits, isn't it? Yeah. Oh. Oh, they pop Uber, but forget utterly about the point. So you bait them in with the crits. Wow. And then crush them by walking on the point. So, decent idea. Puts you in a bind, I see why, without the demo, but you definitely want to use the crit straight away. So you go for choke, but they're so slow coming up. Yeah, that's not a bad time to go for the scout and med. It looks like you guys might win. Well, no, you don't have any scouts, so you automatically lose.
Alert. The control point is being captured.
Well, magic occurred. And you win. And that soldier killed himself. Okay, so they're already setting up at last. Your crew should already be in lobby. Because you had to demo, I think, a soldier. So that's enough to just go in with. Let the team file in as need be. So they're forward holding. And we're standing, either walking in. Yeah, so we walked in. Alright, it's go time. Oh, why are we jumping in? There was no need for you to do that. You're the roamer. Let the Ubered people do the pushing. So yeah, you just gave yourself away there. And then our demo gives himself away too. Now, I don't like that death from your demo because of when he died. So he got the worst possible spawn timer, and on a last push like that, that's kind of a big deal in case they choose to push out. You're gonna die again if you peek this door. Yeah. So maybe you're just suiciding to bait them away for your spy. Oh no, it was GG. I forgot. Yeah, it's Europe for time. So sorry about that there at the end. But yeah, I don't... The death on the demo there is pretty punishing because it puts you in a bind. So the way it works is if you die, or your teammates die, or anyone on your team dies for the first time in a while, I think it's like 40 seconds, then you will get a basic respawn timer. But then any person that dies after 3 seconds of those people will get the worst possible timer. Because the game tries to respawn you in waves so that you come up with friends. That's just like how they design the game. And if you die too far away from your comrades, then it puts you in a new wave. And that's not a good thing. You want to be able to spawn with your friends. So, and it's actually to your benefit in some cases. So like say a guy dies and then you die maybe a second or two after, you will get the same spawn timer they have and you'll spawn together even though you were alive shooting, at least another rocket. in the same time that they were just looking at dead bodies or whatever it is people do when they're dead. So, I mean, there's that. So criticisms. There were a couple times where you tried to push in with an Uber advantage. Whenever there's an Uber advantage push that you're not directly involved in, you could be. There's nothing illegal about the roamer being involved in an Uber. It's maybe not the best option, but you can do it if you want. But on an Uber advantage push. But if you're not in the combo for that, then you can't go in straight away. Because if you do, you're either going to meet a guy at the door who will shut you down, and now your team's down a guy, or you're going to jump in too soon, which happened on the last push with a sentry gun that y'all should have heard, and two, when you jumped into second and went straight for their med, who didn't have Uber, died, and then your team Ubered in. You don't want to do that. You gotta let the people with the 300 health and the invincibility do the pushing, because they're best at it. You've gotta, it's comparative advantage. You talk a lot about comparative. If you're not familiar, you talk about it a lot with trade economics. So, you said you were German. Why is it that BMWs are made in Germany and not Ecuador? It's because Germans are better at making Mercedes and other sort of cars of that nature than people who live in Ecuador, because they haven't been doing it as long. So, if you're the pocket, you've got the 300 health, that makes you de facto the best at pushing. So you ought to be the one that does the pushing. And not the people who don't have heals. So you gotta let your pocket do it. If they're not telling you what's going on and you're just going in based on either their muddled communication or like they say they're going in but they're not, then you've got to fix that, because it puts you in the position where you're forced to push, and roamers aren't very good at that. I don't like leaving people at last because it puts your team in uneven fights, particularly leaving the roamer at last because you've got 4 rockets and gunboats, and you were running Pain Train a lot of that match, I think. So, because I never saw you change weapons, but maybe you did. But if you have Pain Train on and you're being left at last, it's a real big sad zone spot for the scout that died to you when they came for the back cap, because since you take more damage from scatter anyways with the Pain Train, and 89% of back caps are going to come from a scout, so that's rough. But I just don't like that. The way I like to do it is you plan out two sort of scenarios. One is the ideal scenario where most of the team is still alive. So you plan out whoever the combo is, we're going to go this way every single time. So for example, on Badlands, the combo's going to go through the lower main door, up the stairs, and out the drop down. The little hole there. And then we're going to walk over to Stone Bridge, Gray Bridge, whatever people call it. And then the scouts are going to both go from up top, or one will go from up top, cut to the left, and get straight onto the point. And the roamer is going to go through the bottom left, because he's usually over there, and then go out through trash and jump forward, either onto the spire or just forward some more. And the other scout will go out of Shutter Door on Gray Bridge, and the demo will just stand on bats. So that way you've covered all your doors. Now, if you're a guy that normally goes solo, so like the roamer always goes bottom left, if you happen to be dead, then that player should know, hey, I'm dead. Somebody cover my spot. so then like the demo can do it or anything like that. And you should try to do it as close to the same time. So when everybody is at last and the last push is just finished, people can't just start running through their route because generally the backcapper won't be discovered. You want it to be near the same time, so if you've got a guy that needs to run into spawn and they're solo covering an area, you want to be mindful of that so that if they meet the backcapper and die to him, you're not so far ahead that you can't get back in time. So, because the operative plan is if one of the guys who goes out there by himself is killed by a backcapper, you're still close enough to the point yourself that you can get there and hope to block them. What else was there? Mids were really slow. There was a lot of staring at each other at mid. But, I don't know. You guys dealt with it okay. It's just the scouts have to be really active when you're facing a team that solely wants to counter jump. Your scouts just have to get really aggressive with them. That doesn't mean drop down into the low ground and fight them in valley as a scout. That just means you gotta stay on them once they come up. And your Paka can fight them under. So like the plan, right, is like I've had this conversation before where I tell a person, hey, at mid you should counter jump, and they say, well, what if they don't jump? So that's actually a counter strat, is you just stare at the guy and say, fine, if you want to counter jump, I just won't jump. And then all you do is walk forward slowly and spam rockets at them. And granted, you're not doing much at the mid. You may get lucky. But especially on Badlands, they're on the ground and you're spamming rockets at them on the ground, but your team has the way better positioning because they're separated from their crew wherever they are, right? Because they're down there on the ground by clubhouse, shithouse, whatever you want to call it, and there aren't a lot of resources there. There are no health packs, whatever. Your team's got a medium health pack on its side, so you're sitting pretty, you got the high ground, and they're stuck on the ground, and you just run under at them. And it doesn't really matter if you die. Your team's got the one with the positioning. So that would be helpful. And then when we do last pushes, we can't all run onto the point. It's just lazy, basically. You don't want to all clod onto the point. You gotta take it slow. Whoever's nearest, there are two ways to go about it that I really like. Is one, if you've got a good Uber and it's a smaller map, so Badlands, Gully Wash, not Granary, that aren't big open points, especially maps that have tubes. On the last point, you know how the Badlands last is in a tube. I like to have the pocket be the one that as soon as the Uber is over, he's out of ammo anyways. Just have him drop on the point. So he reloads one rocket, shoots the stickies off of it, and starts to cap it. And if he dies, literally no one cares. Because the only thing that he would be doing for most of the after Uber fight is reloading anyways. And he typically has so much health that if their demo is trying to cheat and have a forward sticky trap, and he only put 3 or 4 stickies down on the point, and the soldier's diligent in throwing them away by shooting a rocket, he probably won't die. So that will cause the other team to panic, and they'll flood the point. A lot of teams use scouts and designate a scout to just run on the point and die during last pushes. I don't like that because the probability for the scout to live is very low. And it can be pretty crushing to a player's self-esteem to make their last push just, I run onto the point and die. And it's kind of challenging as far as actually getting it done at the right time in order to be helpful. And they tend to die in sticky traps, so then the other team won't crash the point quite the same way. as if you hear in your headset or speakers, they're capping the point. And you see a pocket on it with 300 health, quietly reloading his rocket launcher for his final moments of life. So but with last pushes, as I said throughout, if you have Uber advantage, you just need to get kills. You don't need to worry about putting time on the point. If it's Uber v Uber, then you have your Uber versus fight, you try to put out damage, and then you have the pocket die on the point. And the med backs up to the demo and a scout that come through a prearranged door, and you have your fight then. And you hope that they give up any positioning they might have in order to dive the point to stop your pocket from capping it. And then you just win, because your demo just has to shoot sticks at the point. But, yeah, so there's that. So on the whole, your rocket jumping was alright. There were a few flub jumps, and there was only one time it really hurt. Don't jump at scouts. It was painful to watch on occasion. When you would do that, you just can't do it. You're throwing your life away when you do it. You gotta have a little bit of respect of the scout class. And, yeah, but I mean, on the whole, it was okay from you. Other than some of the pushing problems. But I saw roamery things. You didn't die unnecessarily. You certainly didn't bait your team. So that's good. It's good that you don't have those habits. So if you break your bad timing habit of pushing in a little too early, you'll be perfectly fine, basically. So, alrighty. Well, I hope you enjoyed. You probably got a little bit longer of an after talk than you expected, but I aim to please, or at least talk a bit. So, hopefully you enjoyed.